caught my wife sending pics to my brother-in-law. She said it's not cheating as the relationship was purely transactional. Should I divorce? My wife Jessica, 34, and I, 35M, have been married for 3 years, and we dated for 2 years before that, and we have a 2-year-old daughter. Jessica has 2 sisters. The eldest one, 38F, is married to Jake, 40M. A week ago, I came home from work early and wanted to scare Jessica. I tried to be sneaky, but somehow I slipped and accidentally hurt my back. Jessica came to my rescue. I went to the bedroom and she went to the kitchen to get an ice pack. Her phone was by the bed, and a WhatsApp notification came from Jake saying, "You've got the best pair I've ever seen." I immediately knew what was happening. I unlocked the phone and saw that she had just sent some pics and videos of her chest to Jake, and there were no previous chats before that. When Jessica came back to the room, I showed her the chat and asked, "How long?" I have known this woman for 10 years, and I have never seen her so mortified. Her eyes got teary and she said, "Babe, I am sorry, but I can explain." So I said, "Go on." According to her, at the end of 2019, she was struggling with money, and Jake suggested he would help her out. He hinted that he would like to see her pics. I feel like I am writing a corn script at this point, so she sent him pics and it continued over the years. She swears there was nothing emotional or physical involved. It was purely transactional. I didn't believe any of it, but she showed me on Venmo that Mother Effer paid her $300 yesterday. I then told her, "It's been 5 years. Try to remember if anything physical happened. For me, if even half of what she is saying is true, how could something like that not become physical?" She started crying and told me she could prove it tomorrow because Jake would get suspicious if she tried to talk to him now. I took her phone, went to a bar, got wasted for the night, and when I came back, she was still there crying. I just slept on the couch. Next day morning, I gave her the phone. She called Jake. Conversation went something like this. "Jessica. Hey, I was wondering if you want some more pics?" Jake. "I'm short on money. Yesterday, I spent all of it." Jessica. "We can do something more this time and meet in person. I've changed my mind on that." Jake. "No way. How much are we talking about?" I felt like I was going to puke. I told her that we were done and left for the office. I am not a very wealthy dude, but I would consider myself a stable guy who could take care of his family. Now I just feel like I have failed as a man, whose wife had to sell her body to meet her expected lifestyle. When I got home that night, she looked like shit. I asked Jessica why she kept taking money from him after we got married and why she didn't ask me while we were dating. She said she didn't know how to stop and that it was easy money. I left my home that night and told her she can keep the home and the car, but I want 50-50 custody of my child. So here I am now, haven't told anyone about this. It's been a week since, staying in a hotel. I go home in the evening to play with my daughter. I'm speaking with divorce lawyers, and Jessica is constantly talking about marriage counseling. Relevant comments. Why do they always offer up the house? Opie. For me, I don't want my child to suffer and I wanted a peaceful divorce at that time. Comment. Opie, it's not up to me to dictate to you how to feel about this. If you think this somehow makes it better, so be it. I strongly disagree with the idea that transactional cheating is somehow less harmful than when emotions or sexual desire is involved. I actually find it more crass and disrespectful. Like, really, you betrayed your spouse? Ruined your marriage? Did this to your sister? For what? For spending cash? I'm not justifying cheating when the cheater develops a crush or is out and gives in to ego, not at all. That's also not okay. But it is in some ways more understandable to me. It's an imperfection, a human flaw, that I can recognize as possibly fixable in some situations. But, for money? $300? Damn. I don't think this is salvageable. I really don't understand your wife's mindset. That is just too cold, yikes. And to not just you, but her sister. I would get a divorce and immediately meet up with your sister-in-law in person and let her know what has been going on. Opie, I don't agree with you on your first point. Somehow, it was reassuring to know that she was not in love with someone else. But it doesn't take away the pain she caused. However, I can see what you're trying to say. Update. Before getting to the update, some people were asking me to get a paternity test. I don't need one. I know she is my daughter because I am Indian and Jessica, my wife, is white, and my daughter looks like me. Now for the update. After I made that post, I shared my situation with my cousin sister, 30F. She is the only family member I have living in the States. I visited her place the next day, and she knocked some sense into me. I realized part of me still didn't want a divorce because I basically married Jessica against my parents' will. They wanted me to have an arranged marriage. So my failed marriage would hurt my ego. She also arranged a meeting with a divorce lawyer, and no, I am not giving up my house. I was just emotional at that time. From what I understand, in our state, adultery has pretty much zero impact on the assets, so it will likely be a 50-50th split. However, there is a high chance I can get better custody of my daughter because I have a job and Jessica doesn't. She is also involved in sex work at this point, which could work in my favor. My father-in-law called me last evening, and he was crying. He told me he didn't know what to say to me and that if he were in my place, he would have left her. Apparently, Jessica got scared and told her family everything after I didn't visit home for 2 days and had blocked her everywhere. I guess I should have done that a little while ago, and Jake is out of his house also. So, I think I will go for a divorce because there is no point of reconciliation at this point when the whole relationship seems fake to me. Relevant comments. Did the sister kick out the brother-in-law? Opie. Yeah, she kicked him out yesterday. I didn't ask about them that much, but it sounds like my sister-in-law is sure she is getting divorced. Comment. Any update on your sister-in-law's relationship with Jessica? Opie. It sounds like everyone is trying to cut off contact with both Jessica and Jake, but I think only my mother-in-law is talking to Jessica. She was at my house last night. Comment. Think your soon-to-be ex-wife actually told the whole truth to her family, pics $4? Or did she give them a sugar-coated version? Opie. I don't think it was sugar-coated, but I didn't ask. Her father was crying and apologizing to me. That's not something I was prepared for. Comment. I still don't consider this cheating. It's wrong on so many levels, but definitely not on the same level as cheating. I think your pride is clouding your judgment. You need clarity, my friend. Your daughter will suffer for this. 100% guaranteed. You making more money won't matter for custody. You left, bro. Opie. It doesn't really matter if she was cheating or not. The main thing is she lied throughout the whole relationship, and I refuse to believe it was only for money. Could have been an issue when we were dating, but not after marriage. I am a software developer with 10 years of experience, and I have a somewhat high-paying job. I am only thinking about my daughter. If I patch up everything with Jessica, I will still have trust issues, and it would set a bad example of a relationship in my daughter's eyes, which can be bad in the long term. Final update. We are not getting divorced. Before getting to the update, some people were cursing me in my DMs saying I might not earn enough and accusing me of financially abusing my wife and taking advantage of her. I don't think this is the case for me. My salary is close to mid-six figures, and we have a joint account where I put half of my in-hand salary and we don't even spend that much. For those who were confused about the relationships in my post, my wife was exchanging pics with her brother-in-law, her sister's husband. Not mine. Now to the update. After the day Jessica told everyone about the situation, my mother-in-law called and wanted to talk. She was with Jessica after the whole thing happened. I returned to my home later that evening, and her parents and her sister Jose, 38F Jake's wife, were there. After I got there, Jessica wanted to talk alone. According to her, Jake had been trying to pursue her since she was about 16 to 17. For context, Jake and Jose have been together for 20 years now. This continued for almost 2 years. He used to make suggestive comments about her body, and she told Jose about it. But Jose didn't believe Jessica at that time and told her she was doing this for attention. Jessica didn't tell her parents either because, according to her, Jose was their parents' favorite, so nobody would have believed her. Jake didn't do anything between those years besides casual flirting until 2019 when Jessica was having problems with rent and the whole transactional thing happened. I asked why she didn't ask me about it, and she said we were only 1 month into dating and it could have looked bad. She swears nothing happened after that until last year when Jake and Jose started having problems in their marriage, and he started messaging Jessica again. She didn't entertain him at first, but she had gained some weight from pregnancy and thought I was ignoring her because of it, which I was not. At that time, I was working close to 13 to 14 hours a day to change my niche to another tech stack. Massive layoffs were also going on, so it was a pretty bad time. Now she admitted that she liked the attention and validation this time. She called herself an attention whore. But she didn't have any feelings towards him. They started exchanging pics and money, and this happened 3 times. Then she admitted it was cheating, although there were no emotional or physical actions from her side. But she said that she shouldn't have done it. I asked her why she didn't tell me about Jake harassing her when we first met or started dating. She said she thought I wouldn't have believed her and that it was in the past. Then I asked why she didn't tell me the first time I found out about this. Her answer was the same. She believed I wouldn't have believed her because nobody else knew about this. I was just sad about the fact she doesn't trust me enough to tell me such a horrific incident. Now, I did something I am not very proud of. I asked her about a paternity test. I know it was stupid, but emotionally I was in a weird place at that moment. She was totally emotionless throughout the whole conversation, but after hearing about the test, she broke down crying and started hyperventilating. I started crying too. After about 10 minutes or so, we stopped crying, and she said okay, then asked me if we are getting a divorce. I said I don't know. She then said we should get a post-nup before I do something like that. That line felt like a tight slap to my face. I was like, you're not even going to convince me not to go through with it? Then she left with her parents. The next day, she called crying, asking not to get a divorce and to start marriage counseling. Obviously, I said okay. So here we are now after some weird couple of days, still getting the post-nup, her individual counseling starting next week, our marriage counseling starting next month. Hopefully, trust will return someday. Also, Jake is denying all that. According to him, Jessica seduced him for money, and my sister-in-law is getting a divorce. I know some people are going to call me a doormat, but I don't care.